Hi, this is Dorothy Smith, and I am bringing you close to my heart's Yesterday and Today second project. So, this one, I will be totally transparent here. This took me about an hour and 5 minutes to do. I'm showing you the quill tool, and we're going to be using that quill tool to make roses, believe it or not, out of these curly Q die cuts. So I haven't done this for a really long time. So I was just glad I could find my quill tool. Anywho, I will show you how to make these after I try to pop all of these die cuts out. So, like I said, this project with Yesterday and Today is great for heritage or vintage photos. It just kind of screams that, but you don't have to do that. You can totally do different kinds of layouts without, maybe for kind of a little bit more rustic look, or taking trips to parks outside or whatever with the darker colors, instead of doing heritage or vintage. But if you've got these photos in your family, it would be neat to have these pages to show them off, especially some, really special photos. So all of these flowers and yes, and then a silly. These are borders that I am not going to use because I've decided to use something else. But they're already distressed for you. So, I like them, but I had some of the lace die cuts that I had already cut out, and I had them to the side, and so I wanted to use those. But there's all sorts of fun flare type items to enhance the little flower bouquets that go next to the photos. And there's quite a few of them. I mean, so this took me, what did I say, an hour and 5 minutes to put together. And this stamp of the month for March would be perfect for stamping on these layouts. I ended up not using it, but it would have been perfect for it. Having trouble with my Tombow. I think it's close to ran out, so need to change it. Anyway, I've got the espresso and the toffee inks to the side there. And what I'm going to do on the spirals is ink, kind of distress the bumpy edges, which are the flower petal edges. And this is a zip strip that I actually cut off of these particular papers. And they go on where there's kind of a white, a whitish line. It's an obvious line that's on this paper. And so it's on the other side of that. The other color that is used with these toffee and espresso colors is the French vanilla. So it's not too bright. It's not a super bright white that would just stick out and not even look like it goes with it. So this is a much softer white, and the toffee color looks wonderful with it. I'm using that brush that I got from the Daiso Japanese import store, and it just does such a nice, soft application of ink. I really, really like that brush. So I'm going to go ahead and generally measure. They go, goes like a 3¼ inches down from the top. But the most time-consuming of this whole project is making the roses. So for making the roses, you do need the quill tool, and you also need some liquid glass, because we'll be sticking the, as we twirl the rose, it will stick on that inside part. And see, these are the, we have thin cuts that have this lace border, And I love that so much. I think it's so pretty that I just wanted to use it. So that was my choice. But you know, you already have something to work with, and I just wanted to use these because I love them. I can't help it. Anyway, I do really like this particular thin cut. So I am going to use it as kind of I need to get some more scrap paper to put in my little tool box that's to the side there. See, I mean, it just kind of said, and then you put the darker, the espresso border on top of it. And this background will take 2 4x6 pictures. So I still haven't, you know, I've got my mother-in-law's black album. I'll have to go through that and see what I can find in there to pull out some perfect pictures. Most of the, you know, I think I've told you before, most of the pictures that are in that album, I have no clue. There's no names, there's no journaling in there, so I have no clue who any of those people are. I mean, I could give that away to a restaurant that decorated in antique stuff and wouldn't miss it because I have, and my husband doesn't know either. So, and you know, unfortunately, this is why it's really important to write things down, because when we're all gone, the next generation has no clue who anybody is. So you kind of lose the continuity of the family if you don't have it written down someplace. And I feel terrible that you know, she's gone. All of them are gone. My parents, his parents. There's nobody to ask the questions to. You know, it's what happens when you get wrapped up in your own family stuff. Not that, you know, we all do it, but, you know, it's just, dang it, some history is lost. So we have these really antique looking flowers, very dark colors that, yeah, it kind of, I kind of wish I looked for kind of a reddish tone to distress the roses in, because that would have been really pretty. I still might be able to do it actually. But I'm going to distress the roses in the toffee. But I'm coloring some of the area in the flowery, the flares, and I'm also going to color some of the wooden elements. Also, I'm going to use I'm going to use the Earth Blend Tri-Blend marker for coloring, because that just worked so well. And it had just kind of enough of a reddish hue to make the wood stick out from the background. If I had just used a dark brown, it more or less would have blended into all the rest of the stuff. But the Earth Blend adds kind of a mahogany color to it, to the wood. So these are photo corners that I'm coloring. And you can only see 3, so there's going to be a 4th one that is going to go on the 2nd page. And fortunately, 3 of the corners are covered up in that photo, so I just need 1 for that side. So perfect. And all of these, I didn't put adhesive down underneath. When it hangs over the photo, I didn't put adhesive down, so I'll be able to slip a photo underneath those wood pieces. And also for the corners, I just put a little dot of glue. I went for the liquid glass because that really adheres like nobody's business. So I'm just kind of raising them up, punching out the little filler holes there. That's kind of fun. Anyway, I'm just kind of putting them up there, and that way I can slip the photos underneath the corners. So, I like that. And the same thing with those curly cues. They're going to go under the flowers, but they're going to get attached with just towards the end. And these little kind of daisy-like flowers are going to get colored and attached to this layout also. Yeah, I love the way the color is taken up in the wood there. That is just stunning to me. And it goes so easily. And then I'm just putting like one little dot down to hold these in place. So because it doesn't need a whole lot because the liquid glass is so strong. So I'm going to raise up my flowers a little bit. And that way I can kind of tuck the wood pieces underneath. And see, I'm not putting a foam dot where the pictures go. So there's a dot of liquid glass. And then I'm going to scoot that guy underneath. I'm using the smaller one. So this was it wasn't completely easy to make. There's a lot of pieces to this particular layout, the 2-page layout. It normally doesn't take me over an hour to do something. So there was a lot to it, but I didn't really time how long it takes to make the flowers, but they took a little while to make the flowers. So if you're going to set time aside, I would give yourself at least an hour to do this. So some are stickers and some are the die cuts. Most are the die cuts, but some are the stickers. And everything, that leaf is getting colored, and then there's a fleur-de-lis. I don't know what the thing is with the fleur-de-lis. I guess just because it's kind of a fancy thing. But all of that flowers and the fleur-de-lis and the wood is all looking like it's in the space. I mean, it is in the space of the photo, but you can slip everything under that photo. So no problem. And I'm using my brush again to distress the edge. And then with the quilling tool, if you've never used one, that little slit, you put the end in, and then I'm rolling towards the inked area. And so this actually twirls nicely, I guess because it's curved. So it just twirls nicely, and then I put the liquid glass there, and I kind of try to spread it out. And then I'm going to kind of hold it in place a little bit, kind of unwind the flower a little bit, and squish that in, and then kind of flatten the top of the petals out. Now you could loosen the flower a little bit. The more you loosen it, the larger it gets, or the wider it gets, I should say. The diameter of it gets bigger. And look, it just kind of sits there like a good boy. Good flower. So, and I have this speeded up at like 225. So that's, I had to do that. I can't imagine you watching me do this for 30 minutes or whatever it took. Anyway, super easy. You don't have to be particular when you distress. There is no reason to be particular. Distressing is all about imperfection. So don't get hung up in perfection. It'll just slow you down for no good reason. And there we go. Flower number 2. Now these will take up a little bit more space in your book, in your scrapbook. But they're kind of worth it. I mean, look at how beautiful they are. You can actually, I can't tell you offhand which one it is, but our Cricut cartridges will make these. One of them, I don't know whether it's, well, I'm not sure which one it is. It will cut these swirls so you can make all of your own flowers. I kind of got into it. I have to tell you, I kind of got into it. It was working so nicely. I have struggled. The first time I made one of these, I struggled with it. I mean, I just struggled with it. And this actually is working, pretty darn easily. I don't know why I struggled with it so much. It's like you don't, until you kind of get the concept of what's going on, your brain kind of works against you. I don't know if you think that way, but if I don't understand something, my brain works against me. And then I forgot to distress, and it's like, oh, unroll. Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. And see, if I had used a dark red on this rose, it would have looked really nice too. Our darkest red. I'm not sure which one that is, but it would need to be a very dark red. We used to have this one called Barn something, and it was this perfect color. It would have worked great for this, but that was from many, many, many years ago. So the end of the paper I didn't get it on there, inserted enough into in the slit, and it kind of came off. And so that's why I kind of hand did this. And it really makes a big difference to kind of roll out the flowers flat so that it looks like a rose. Otherwise, it just looks like twirled paper, right? So there we go, just almost done here. I've already done 4 of them. So some of these are going to go on this page, and some of them are going to go on the second page. So at least on the second page, the time won't be spent making the flowers. They're all done at one time. And I guess I could have done this off camera, but this way you get a really good concept of what it is to roll the flowers and make some roses. There we go. Cool, right? Okay, so I'm going to go back to the layout, try to figure out what I'm doing. And these are journaling strips that I actually thought went with project 1, and they didn't. They went with this project. So they're 1/4-inch strips. So very, very easy to cut. Just a 1/4 of an inch, and then that's probably maybe 5 inches long, something like that. Yeah, that's probably about right. Probably about 5 inches long. And then I'm just going to put some of the little stickers that says family something or other. And now I'm going to put, and how nice of them to give us a sticker for the title for family. So super, super, super simple for a title. I tell you, we didn't used to have these stickers, and I really like them. I really like them. Especially when you don't have to hand cut out all these letters. So there's family. And then of course, I flattened the F down, and I need to pull it up a little bit so I can put my curly cues under the F. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And I've colored some more of the pearls using the same Earth Blend Tri-Blend marker. And now I'm going to put my roses down. So I'm going to stick them up with the foam dots, the larger foam dots. And look at how lovely they look in the kind of the bouquet of flowers there. I think I'm using the darker, the darker side gives a better color. So, and those become very subtle, the pearls. Now, if we left them white, the pearls would stick out. But since they're the earth blend color, then, you know, they're just a very subtle hint and adding just a little bit to texture. And I don't know, what do you call it? It's shiny, but it's not, you know, like glitter. It's just very lovely. So I think this one came out really pretty. Another little sticker there. And then we go on to page 2. And so here's page 2. So this is going to get, and I was thinking of using the doily on this one. Yeah. No, so I ended up making some more of the scalloped border, lace borders. And this is going to be about 3 1/4 inches down or so from the top, I believe. Yeah. And here we go. You see the distressing along the edge of the background paper is very, very strong distressing, and there's nothing even about it. There's nothing perfect about it, and that's what makes it so cool, is the imperfections of it. And so whatever you do, please don't get hung up in it has to be perfect, because it's just a waste of energy. Save that for things that need perfection, like I don't know what. Maybe taking care of somebody sick. So I'm putting this down, and even though the some of the pieces hang over, I'm not even going to worry about it, because I'm thinking it's going to get covered up. And then I'm going to ooch that one up, and that empty space is going to get covered up too. And so I'm putting the darker piece there, and there's the one corner that shows to put the corner on. The other 3 corners get covered up by flowers, and look at this clock. So I love this clock. So it's going to get colored. So the hardest question is, do you use the lighter side or the darker side? I started using the lighter side and decided it was too light. So maybe I should have gone with the medium, but it doesn't matter. And I put a bigger blob there. So see how that corner is getting taken up with the clock. And then I'm going to put a little pearl right in the middle of the clock. So gone through some more Tombow. I go through a lot of Tombow. Anyway, I hope that you like watching these get put together. It's kind of maybe a little peaceful to watch somebody else work. My grandmother always said she just loved watching other people work. Now, I'm probably older than she was when she said that. She was watching my father do a bunch of gardening for her, and she said, I just love to watch other people work. And so now I'm thinking I love watching other people work too, but it's me doing the work. Wait a second, I got something wrong here. My grandmother had it right. Okay, so I'm putting down my little curly Q here. I do love those wood things. And I think this is an especially pretty floral grouping. It kind of looks like dogwoods to me, dogwoods and roses. Or maybe it's like, oh, what are those roses called? The single petal roses, like a primrose maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, they're very, very, very pretty looking. And that rose, that could definitely get colored. I don't think I colored it. I think it just went down there black and white, but you could totally color that if I didn't. And this is just going to be a whole swirly thing going up the whole side of that photo. So you see, I didn't need to make another one of the lace borders. And, you know, using the same marker for all these pieces, the paper pieces and the stickers and the die cuts and the clock, just makes everything coordinate from one side to the other. Ooh, pretty, right? So pretty. You know what? When you're making these, you don't really appreciate how really lovely they are. And then while I'm watching this, it's like, oh man, that is so pretty. So I'm putting a couple of roses down there and then one at the top. And then I have to kind of push something in that place there. So a little greenery here. And woo! Out of control. And see that? No lace border was needed. We've got all of the decorations and that you could possibly want on there. So I was thinking of putting another thing there, but that star didn't speak right for that. And you have to take the little centers out when you get these. I don't know how they cut those, but my goodness. They cut them and then they end up staying in there. So you have to poke them out. And they come out real easily. So I'm making a little grouping, a little two there, and then one off from it. But it's an odd number of grouping together. So we're going to add a pearl, a big pearl, and a little pearl. We still have an odd number, so it's at 5, so that's a good thing. And just a couple of more things. So I hope that you subscribe to my channel and ring the bell for the next video, but I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment and, you know, maybe tell me what you'd like to see for my channel. And now I'm just going to clear out my area and put my pages together so you can see what they look like all together. The left page and the right page. And here we go. I hope I squeeze it off, get a better view. So you can see both zip strips are in the center. Well, I didn't do a good job of that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now you can see better. So there's project number 2 of yesterday and today. So Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Take care now. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.